Okay, so we are now live. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another astrology update with the wonderful and talented Louisa Tanner Monson. Hi, Louisa.
Hi, Helen. How are you?
I am really good, and that's probably a lie. No, I'm just kidding. Um, that's literally the standard of when you ask people, "Hi, how are you?" and everyone just
Yeah,
says, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm great." You know what? I'm not about to believe that anytime soon from anyone at the moment. Having gone through the two eclipses, Mercury
yeah.
retrograde, still in the shadow, everyone I know has basically gone through the most amount of disruption in their lives. It's just been, yeah,
Yeah,
horrendous.
it's been insane, hasn't it? I mean, it's been really, really bonkers. Most people I talk to are going through massive changes. And this week, you like stuff that you're not expecting. So my little daughter, who's 7, she wanted to learn how to do the splits, and I'm really flexible. And so we started doing some stretching exercises, which all felt really good, and it was nice to support her. And I'd finished stretching, and then about 20 minutes later, I went like this with my arms, and just as I like stretched up, all of a sudden I heard this rip in my leg, and I've busted one of my muscles.
Oh
I've
no.
still got a full range of mobility, but I felt something like release. So I don't know what's going on, but been
I know,
icing, resting, and I'm able to move. I'm not in pain, so that's all
oh,
good.
that's
It was
good.
quite shocking. And you never know what's around the corner, do you?
No, you
No,
don't.
definitely not.
Definitely not. So yeah, the energy has just been very, very strange to say the least. I don't know a single person around me that has gone absolutely unscathed with this. And the thing is, it impacted relationships, like massively, massively impacted relationships. And I'm not just talking like, the spousal type of relationships, it's relationships with families and colleagues
Yeah.
and friends. And, I've had to literally put a long-term, basically a childhood relationship just to bed because it just got too much. And sometimes you just need to step away and
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I
So
mean, I had during the eclipses, my mum and dad arrived the day before the eclipse, and then 2 days before Mercury went retrograde, and then they left literally just after the next eclipse. Oh no, they left a month later at the next moon event, which I think was the new moon. So they were with us for a month, and during that time, because it fits into my 7th house, which is about relationships, like we were sort of undoing old patterns. It was really, really beneficial. But boy, did it bring up some stuff. It really stirred stuff that I just wasn't expecting to happen. And it knocked me for 6. There are a few times when it was like, come on then, let's go. But we got through it. But I felt like I learned a little bit about the coding. But I really do feel that like where the Taurus is in your chart really determines kind of what's going on or what was going on, because it's so intense.
yeah.
Great news is we're moving away from all that Taurus energy now. Or
Yay! And it really does feel like some sort of gateway or doors are opening. You can tell the change in energy because people have more energy at the moment. And here in the UK, it really helps that we've had glorious sunshine for the best part of a few days.
I'm sure that is helping.
Let's hope it stays that way. So yeah,
Yeah.
the energy is definitely changing. You can see people are a lot more happier, they're a lot less stressed, they're better able to manage their emotions as well. So
Oh, isn't that good?
yeah, it's definitely a good thing because oh my god, we just needed to get out of that energy.
Mm.
So to our audience that are watching or listening right now, please do remember we are doing some Q&As as well. Just, leave that until the end, though, if you can, because we have a lot to get through today.
Yeah.
Louisa is going to go through all 12 signs of the zodiac for us. She's kindly agreed to do that. It's a lot
Yeah.
of work for her. So, Louisa, we really, really do appreciate you, and we appreciate your time that you are giving to today's update as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So we were going to do what, say 3 minutes per sign. I need to get the timer up to make sure I don't talk beyond it. Let me find. Hang on, let me get my phone. That's the most helpful thing, isn't it?
Also, while Louisa's doing that, guys, if you want to, just send some comments in, say hello. You can send your comments in now, by the way, and quite happy to read them out later on, or your questions or whatever it is. But yeah, drop in and say hi. I know it's early morning, but yeah, we just needed to get this done for you guys.
Yeah, it's important. And yeah, like just to echo what Helen's saying, if I can answer your questions, I will do. And if not, I've got a live pop-up astrology show tomorrow, which I
Yeah.
do every Sunday at 6 o'clock. And I look at the charts of 4 different people and also answer questions. So yeah, so there's always going to be advice there for you. And I know Helen does amazing tarot stuff as well, don't you, Helen?
Yes, I do. We were going to pull some tarot for each sign, but I don't think we're going to have time for that today. So yeah, we probably won't do that. But yes, I do some amazing tarot, and I can drop the links in later. So yeah.
Okay, right. Let me bring up the
Oh, by the way, for my tarot, if I
yeah.
do forget to drop the links in later, if you just go to venushealthacademy.com and you will see there's a tab that says tarot or tarot readings. Just click on that and you'll get all the information you need, and you can book from there as well.
Excellent. So if it looks like I'm looking from a screen, it is because I'm looking at a little spreadsheet that I wrote for myself this morning. So should we start right at the beginning then with Aries?
Yes, let's go for it.
Okay, so I really am timing myself. So Aries, this month ahead is really activating the sides of you that are really interested in community versus what happens outside of your community. So the chances are this is going to be quite an intense month. That is going to be having you scratching your head thinking, am I doing enough where I am? Am I making a difference? Like, how is that actually changing things? So we've got the full moon on the 4th, and that's activating your 9th house, which is all about thinking big and being adventurous and wanting to really move out of the place where you find yourself. You know, you're wanting a bigger life, and I think you're feeling the tension of that. So, you know, don't do anything that's going to really trigger you on the 4th, because you are really desperate for some kind of big adventure. You know, you don't want to kind of set the, you know, set a new path running, you know, unless you really are ready for it. You know, just be very cautious. On the on the 18th, you've actually got the new moon. It's new moon in Gemini, and it's in your 3rd house, which is really about resetting your communication and the feeling within your community. So I do see that by the end of the month, or sorry, by the 18th of the month, that you're feeling a little bit more settled and less like you need an adventure, or that you've somehow agreed to give yourself a bit of space, you know, a bit of opportunity for an expansion. So like if you can build something like that in, that'd be great. In terms of money, it's actually quite beneficial. Jupiter's just gone into Taurus, which benefits you. Venus is moving into the 5th. It's really saying that if you want to bring in more money at the moment, what you need to do is really focus on playfulness and the attitude of absolute joy and innocence. Just looking at my clock. In terms of love, things are changing quite quickly. Again, I would really highlight the spontaneity aspect of it, and just being warm and open and playful. Now, in terms of your health, you can really rapidly change your health quite quickly. In particular, on the 11th, that looks like a bit of a reset point. And it is activating the need to talk things through. By the 27th, again, I'm highlighting the need for you to have fun. So the more you have fun, the easier it is for you to enjoy some good health. Last thing then, the solstice on the 4th is activating on the the solstice on the 21st, when the sun goes into the sign of Cancer, is activating that part of your home and belongings and your upbringing. And what I would absolutely recommend you do is that you try and ground yourself in this next season. Try and feel more and more at home. The more you do that, the more success you'll enjoy. So there you go. 3, 2, 1, done.
I had already pre-shuffled some cards, sorry, from the universe which got your back tarot card deck. And I literally picked up this card for Aries, and it says, oneness is my true nature.
Oh,
Aries,
perfect.
take that as it resonates. So I think that's how we're going to do that, Louisa. I'll just pull a card and put it up at the end. There you go.
So that's really good. Gosh, my hair's starting to, I've just had a hot shower and it's like, I can just feel it kind of expanding as I'm
Oh,
talking. Really funny.
bless you.
Right. Should we, are you ready for me to dive into
Yeah,
Taurus?
absolutely. What I'll do, because I've already pre-shuffled some cards anyway, so
Mhm.
it just literally came to me like a light bulb. Just pick a card and just hold it up to the screen and just very quickly mention what it is and move on to the
That's
next one.
fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. So Taurus then. Um, The main area of change for you in this month ahead is really about value systems and money. So you'll probably find that there's this absolute need to understand how you can earn more money and feel more valuable in yourself. And yet at the same time, you're reminded of all the responsibilities and expectations that you share with other people that may well help you, or more importantly, hinder you in feeling very secure. Because I guess that also brings up issues of security and how many resources you have to hand. Now, on the 4th, which is the day of the full moon, the 4th of June, things do seem to come to a head with any shared investments, shared homes, like where you are relying on other people. It feels really quite difficult. And so if you've got anything like that going on, it could be a really great time for you to clear it, but it could also really inflame. So just watch out for that, because the Sagittarian moon in a full moon, it will probably expand into a bit of a not anything nasty, but it could really trigger some kind of strange emotions, especially seeing as this is activating the 8th house, and the 8th house is about secrets and, you know, where people have blame, shame, guilt, and anger. So just watch out for that. After that, it feels like you're coming into a space where you can really plan your own security in your own way and really get clear about your resources. And from the solstice, on the new moon on the 18th, it feels like you've got a restart in terms of how you move forward in earning more money. From the solstice on the 21st, as the sun goes into sign of Cancer, you're being encouraged to come into the community a bit more, come into friendships, you know, not have to do it all on your own. So I think that's quite important. In terms of health, it's important for you to feel grounded at the moment. So I would do as much stuff as you can to feel like the solid ground beneath your feet. In terms of love, it actually feels like love direction has changed somewhat in this last month. You know, it feels like there's a shift and you're not quite back on track. So what I would absolutely recommend you do is that you just enjoy yourself as much as possible, because friendship is really, really highlighted in your chart for this month ahead. And last of all, in terms of your money, which I've already spoken about, yeah, it does feel like things have been difficult and things are changing. But I would say there are 2 reset start times for you on the 11th and the 27th. And each one of them represents a step forwards in feeling more secure, more safe, and in terms of like bringing a plan together so that you feel reassured in this month ahead. So anyway, that's June for you.
Okay, so that was Taurus, right?
Yep, that
Okay.
was Taurus.
Your card is I am the loving energy of the universe. So, you know,
Oh,
whatever
that's lovely.
is happening for you, not to you.
That's important, isn't it?
Mm.
That's really important. And like Taurians have been through so many changes recently, you know, with the eclipse energy and Mercury retrograde, and then Jupiter just going into Taurus. So anything that's left unsaid, it can get really inflamed. Like Jupiter expands things. So bless them. Bless all the Taurians out there. So are you ready for me to
Yeah,
crack on?
absolutely. I'm just literally very quick. I'm just delivering the message and moving on to the next one.
Okay. Right. I'm just going to set my timer again. Okay. So Gemini. Um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on for you guys, because you've got the new moon in Gemini on the 18th, and the full moon in Sagittarius opposite the sun in Gemini on the 4th. Now, the full moon is going to be probably quite intense for you, and it's showing up in your 7th house to do with relationships. And so, you know, it will intensify the feelings in terms of the people around you. Think of your loved ones, but it could also be your family, your friends, and also if you're having any disputes with anyone, that's likely to inflame as well. But what I really see is going on is this boundary dispute between what is yours and what is theirs. And it's really important to get clear about it. You might find, actually, especially when there's a full moon in the 7th, often what happens is what we're seeing with horror and annoyance in our partners is actually what we're really carrying ourselves. You know, so we're often blaming our partners. So it's really important to take a step back and to really clear your energy a few times, get very clear about what you're talking about. Make sure you're not passing something on to somebody else that you're not. Now, I'm going to be recording a big piece to be released on Sunday night, which might be useful for you because it talks a lot more about the Gemini and Sagittarian handover. And then from Gemini to Cancer, because we've got the summer solstice on the 21st, there's going to be some big shifts. And one of the other things that I see as being really important for you is there's a lot of change going on from what you believe to be absolutely true, like factually true. And then you're realizing actually, well, facts can be manipulated. You have to look at the source data. And actually what's coming out is this sense of moral truth or spiritual truth or a sense of knowing. So there's also that going on for you as well, Gemini. Anyway, let's have a look at health, love, and work. Or money. So in terms of health, it's time to let go of family trauma. That's where your health issues are really being held in place at the moment. So like I say, it's important to get clear on what's yours and what's not and let it go. Around the 4th, I've already mentioned, is really heated with your partners. Thereafter, I think it's time to really just try and enjoy having an adventure with them. You know, the kinds of lovers that you bring in are actually the kinds that want to experience life to the fullest. So make the most of that. Now, in terms of your money, it really feels that the 21st, you know, when we have the solstice, is really resetting you. And like I said, it is time for you to shift out of this facts, science, and really go with what's coming up in your heart. What is your knowing taking you towards? And if you can really connect into what you know to be true, you'll be coming up with money-making ideas that will keep you secure for many years to come. So I hope that's helpful, Gemini.
Okay, so Gemini, you have pulled this card over here, and it says, true healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers.
Oh, isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's so great how we're really in sync with this, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. That's why I was smiling all the way through that Gemini reading, because I thought, oh my God, because literally when you mentioned Gemini, straight away, I basically just pulled a card. And then when I looked at it, especially when you were talking about, the triggers that we see in our relationships are really a reflection of what we need to be working on. I was just smiling. I actually wanted to jump in at that stage, but I thought, no, I'll wait until the end. So, Gemini, that is your card right there.
That's so good.
Okay, we're ready to move on.
Okay, right. So the next one is Cancer. This is going to be a big month for Cancerians too, because we've got the solstice coming on the 21st. That's when we go from it'll be the official end of spring, although it already feels like in Portugal like it's summer. I guess, is that how it's feeling for you guys over in the UK?
Yeah, it really does feel like summer has arrived for for a change. The sun comes out and it's actually hot, like really hot. So yeah, it really does feel like summer has arrived here.
Oh,
And
that's
I think
fantastic.
the schools, especially here up north anyway, the schools are off for a week this week as well.
Oh, what, half term type thing?
I think so.
Oh,
Kind of,
wow.
yeah.
That's great. What a lovely, what a lovely thing. I think all of our schools, I know with a lot of my American clients, all their kids are just leaving school right now for the summer holidays or next week. You know, it's coming in. And then for Portugal in 3 weeks' time, that's it for 2.5 months. I'm really looking forward to that sort of summer energy. So anyway, Cancer, let's bring this on for you. Just set my timer. Okay. So, first thing, like Cancer, this is a real kind of feelings month in terms of Where are you being really true to yourself, and where are you keeping things really hidden that's holding you back? So what we've got going is this kind of programming to do with what makes you healthy versus what makes you mentally unhealthy. Sorry, I've got a spider coming down the ceiling right in front of me.
You're blessed.
I do feel blessed, definitely. So yeah, there's a reminder for you to get really clear about what you're holding on to in private, almost like what is in your blind spot. And you might be able to find this out. Just think about some of your most recent conversations with people around you. What are they hinting at, that you can't see about yourself? Because this is an area that needs to be really looked at quite carefully, because you've got a chance to reset all of that from the 18th with the new moon. It's in a very strong place, but it's in a place that could bring up a little bit of dis-ease, because it's going to challenge how you see yourself. And it might challenge your privately held views, so it's almost like there's a shadow side that you've got an opportunity to really shed some light onto. So if that really resonates with you, I would absolutely consider that, because a few days after the new moon, when the solstice gets activated in your first house, it feels like you've got a chance to really restart yourself and clear out any of those blind spots. Not bad, right? Now, on the 4th, when we've got the full moon, that is showing up, activating your physical health and what you know to be true in terms of how you organize your life. So it's very much the visual side of your health and how fit for purpose you are is kind of on display. And so if you've invested yourself, it's going to bring up quite a lot of tension for you. So I would definitely look around that. Anyway, let's focus on more to do with health, love, and money. So in terms of health, other things that you can do is clear out any inflammation that you've got going on. There's definitely agents of change that are inflaming you in terms of your health and making it feel a little bit like things are out of control. So it's time to get back, like pull everything back in. Friendship is going to help ground you in terms of your health, and getting things off your chest is really important. In terms of love, it feels like there has been a lot of intensity, and an old loving situation seems to be coming back into your conscious awareness. Could be time to clear the decks there as well. You might find that some of the inflammation you're feeling in your body is reflected in this old feeling that is coming up. Finally, in terms of the money, it just feels like there's warmth and confidence. So I think you need to stay strong and just really believe in yourself. So that took an extra 3 seconds, but I hope that's helpful for you.
So that was Cancer, right?
Yeah, that's Cancer.
And Cancer, you have pulled this card. My fearless freedom lights up the world.
Ah, that's beautiful, isn't it?
Can you see the sun as well? That reminds me of the solstice.
Let me just have a quick look at that, because I'm just looking at oh my goodness. Yeah, that's just like bang on. It really picks up on the idea of like what's in the shadows and all the light that's coming out from it, like revealing what's hidden. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Leo then. So Leo, what's really kind of getting on your nerves in this month ahead is the fact that you really want to be very creative and do your thing. And by the way, I think you should. I think it's great when you're being creative, because you're naturally creative, naturally playful, naturally spontaneous. And it's like this birthing energy all over your whole body. It's like you just need to, you got all these ideas. And so that's really important. But where the difficulty happens is where you're trying to birth your creativity with other people, and it feels like they're blocking you somewhat. And that's one of your challenges. So what I would absolutely recommend that you do in this month ahead is keep your creative ideas to yourself and really get them moving. Self-determine those as much as possible, because around the full moon, where other people are sticking their beaks in, it's going to really wind you up and put you off your game. So in terms of the full moon this month, this is actually one of the best placements, so for you guys, Leo, the full moon in Sagittarius is actually going to be kind of exciting for you. It's going to really bring up some of the old ideas that you'd forgotten about, and bring up a lot of innovation and invention and things like that. So I would absolutely kind of lock yourself away and really go hard at it. I think it would be great. Obviously, if you're single, by the way, I should just say the 5th house, which is being activated at the time of the full moon, is also very sexy. So it could also correspond with locking yourself away for a weekend of sex or whatever. So, watch out for that. That
Ooh la
sounds
la.
great. Yeah, it sounds good. I don't suppose anyone's going to say, oh, I don't want that. The new moon then on the 18th is activating the 11th house, and that's where you're really co-creating, and that's where you can really get it on with somebody else. But I always think that the 11th house is also about the law of attraction. So yes, you're creating, but you're bringing in a divine power, or you're bringing in an outer observer to help you in your creation. So if you don't feel like you can trust the people around you, because people often come up with these really daft things like, oh, are you sure that's okay? And all of a sudden you start doubting yourself. You don't want to doubt yourself. So co-create with the energy that feels most empowering. Anyway, in terms of money, there's going to be some shifts in your money. The new moon is the thing that's bringing in these friendship opportunities from the 18th. In terms of your love, I'm running out of time. It felt like it was hot and then it was not, and the foot has come off the gas. It feels like it's time to do some rewinding and invest more in your friendships at the moment. Just, kind of take your foot off the gas, unless you're obviously getting in that ooh la la moment. Finally, in terms of health, old beliefs, absolutely, you work on them, because what you're not dropping at the moment is not helping you. Bang on 3 minutes that was.
Yeah. So that was Leo. And Leo, you've pulled this card. Happiness is my birthright.
Oh my goodness. So there's me talking about birthing energy, and boom, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah. As
Yeah.
you were talking about the birthing energy, I just actually took the opportunity to just hold the card up for a couple of seconds to the audience. It's crazy how we are so in sync.
Almost as if we planned this, and I swear to God we didn't, did we?
No, we didn't. In fact, we weren't even going to do the tarot, as I mentioned at the beginning. But then, I've got the universe has got your back tarot card deck here next to me. And literally, my intuition just said, just pull a card randomly, hold it up and, read the message and then move on to the next one, which is working really well.
Sure is. It really, really is. Okay. So are you ready for Virgo?
Absolutely.
Whew. Okay. Well, this is
I
quite
know
cool.
I'm getting really hot here as well. You might notice I keep flicking my hair backwards because it's getting so hot here.
I mean, I like we've been revamping our office, and I've closed all the doors because there's a noisy gym like a couple of doors away, and I can hear that they've got their music on a Saturday, and our dogs are barking. You might have just heard that. So I've actually got the shutters down and the doors shut, and it's actually really quite hot.
Oh,
So
wow.
good old Portugal. Right, I need a fan in here at some point, or some nice man to fan me down.
It
Anyway.
definitely sounds like it. Where's Mr. Munson?
He's actually cleaning. He's like Cinderella this morning. Bless him. He's
Nice.
and watching the kids. Right.
Awesome.
Okay. I'm resetting this. Okay, Virgo, let's do this. Like, speaking about Cinderella, funnily enough, and the home versus like being out there and being the prince. There is this 10th and 4th house activation going on for you pretty much this month, and this is where you're heading. So the 4th, which is the full moon in Sagittarius, is bringing up all sorts of old gubbins up in your home. So like if you're sharing your home with somebody and there's anything that's unspoken that's been irritating you, that's the time when it's likely to crop up. It is a time when you're feeling a bit tense. So, you might find it's actually more beneficial for you to clear off and have a bit of a little trip out. It's time for you to feel some freedom. It almost feels like home has just become almost like a burden. And as soon as you can release that thought and feel fresh and refreshed about being at home, then I think until you can feel that, I wouldn't spend too much time at home around the full moon. It's really important that you change your thinking, because otherwise it could really create some longer term issues for the people around you. But we're heading towards the new moon, like from the 4th to the 18th. Then the focus is like, okay, well, I've got the home under my belt. I want to really think about how I stand in the world. And so there's this contrast, and you're moving outside of the home and imagining yourself as a pillar in the community or doing something and rising up in your career. And of course, you can't really do that if you're not very settled at home. So I would sort the home out and then focus on the outside. Now, in terms of money, it really feels that there's a lot going on about privacy, and until you can feel safer about the people around you that are influencing you in terms of your money, it could be a little bit difficult. So you might want to keep some of your money issues to yourself, and that might also be what's playing into the home thing. In terms of love, it feels like you're trying to realize your love and make it more real or make it more solid. Again, that could also be playing into the love issues. You know, you might be committed to a relationship and you might not feel that the person you're with is as committed. So what I would absolutely advise you do at the moment is kind of have an adventure. It feels like as you kind of leave home or have a little foray into something new and exciting, it brings a new quality to your life that makes you realize, actually, did I want to settle down? Did I actually want that commitment? Did I actually want this to play out as I thought? Because I think as you start to see a bigger picture, a bigger piece of the pie for yourself, you realize actually you want a much bigger deal. You want it all. So again, and in terms of health, adventure and spirituality is the key. So be as fun and be as spontaneous as you can. That's the thing that's going to be the real tonic for you in this month ahead, Virgo. So there you go.
Awesome. So
I wonder
Virgo,
what card you've got this time.
Okay, so for Virgo, the card says, there is nothing sexier than my authentic truth.
I love what these cards say. They're really great.
Yeah, excellent.
Really
I did meditate over them, over all my tarot cards, and I was basically guided to that particular deck.
Yeah, very nice. I've been using the same tarot cards I've had since I was 15. So I went to I got to know a spiritual healer, and she had a pack of cards that somebody had given her, and she'd never really taken to them. And like when I saw them, and I was like, oh, I love these. She just gave them to me. I've had them ever since, and so I've had like numerous other decks, but that first one that I've had, and it's been in a flood. I've had the ceiling collapse on it and loads of rainwater coming. Had to dry them, so they're all a bit crumpled, but they're with me like 30 years later.
Your first deck is always really precious, though, isn't it? I think my first deck was the Rider-Waite tarot deck.
Yeah, I've never really used those. Yeah, mine's the Mythic Tarot, and it's like years old now, but it's special. Okay, so where are we? I've just done Virgo, haven't I?
Just done Virgo, and I'm just shifting some cards now for the next sign.
Okay, so we're halfway through. Whew. Okay, I need to speed things up, don't I?
Okay, you're doing good.
Okay, right. Let's. We need to get this like finished for 11, though, don't we? So, right, I'm gonna motor on. Right, okay. Libra then. Hey Libra, how are you doing? So what's going on is we've got this 3rd and 9th house energy going on for this month ahead, and it's a little bit like what was going on for Aries right at the start, where I said, you know, there's different thinking in terms of your community versus being outside of your community. What I'm really seeing is where you're starting from is you're actually getting irritated with all the narratives that you've grown up with and all that kind of. It's almost like for a while you've been in this stasis and you've been kind of going, oh yeah, and just kind of being agreeable in the way that you are. And actually it's starting to really get on your nerves. It feels like anything that is narrative thinking, anything that's keeping you in a box, anything that's keeping the status quo is due to just kind of explode a little bit for you around the time of the full moon. I think the realization that facts don't necessarily mean that they are truthful is really playing out, and you're really seeing it in your everyday life. And there's this yearning for being able to tune in to your own intuition and to know what is right. And I think that's the need for you in this month ahead, is how can you take yourself out of the reliance on narrative thinking, and move that for you to feel really grounded in knowing and having your intuitive feeling really, really strong. So this is a really big month for you, and lots is shifting. I'm pretty sure of that. Now, the new moon on the 18th really activates a time when you are absolutely in your possibility of intuition. So I think that's great. And then the solstice on the 21st is activating your 10th house, which is about your career. So if I was in your shoes this month, I would think, okay, how can I take myself out of what I already know to discover what I don't yet know? And how can that impact me in terms of my career? How can that supercharge it? Now, other things to bear in mind is in terms of money, there's a need for you to play in terms of friendships and collaborations. So anything that you're collaborating with is going to bring you in the big bucks. So that's beneficial. Also, in terms of love and the love energy, it's absolutely activated through friendships and co-creation and hanging out. So if you're like looking for a new partner, absolutely get out and about with your friends. And again, it's kind of get out of that narrative. So go out with your friends, but pick your slightly more dynamic friends. Pick your friends that are a bit more rebellious. Pick your friends that are a bit more open-minded, and get out there. It's really going to activate it for you. Last of all, then, in terms of healing, it's really important that you maintain an understanding of why you keep quiet, why you feel blame and shame and guilt about telling people what feels like the truth for you. And if you can get to the core of that, there'll be a lot more cohesion in your body, and your body will start working more effectively. That's Libra.
Okay,
What
so
card is for this time, Helen?
Libra, your affirmation is my capacity to tune in to the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost.
Got goosebumps going up me.
That's super powerful, right?
That's super good. That's really good. Okay, so are you ready for Scorpio?
Yeah, totally ready for Scorpio.
Okay.
Let me pick
Yeah,
the card.
Scorpios don't like to be kept waiting, so
And I've got the card here, and I'm not going to show you what it is. It's just going to go down there, and we'll see what it is.
okay. Right. Okay, Scorpio. It's kind of cool that the energy is moving away from your relationships, which have been very intense, and you've been going through a lot of learning, and it feels like it's been one step forward and about 3 or 4 back. It has felt quite rocky, and it's felt like it would have been easier for you to just like get rid of everyone in your life and just clear off and walk the path on your own. In this last month, it's been like just like a nightmare. Everyone's been bringing their stuff. Now I actually am getting a really big change for you in this month ahead. First of all, it's about you feeling a lot more activated and confident of your ability to earn money. So around the 4th, it really feels like your need to get independent and feel independently resourceful is absolutely at its pinnacle. You know, so the 4th of June, when we've got the full moon, that's a time when you're absolutely really guarded about what you're doing, how you're achieving, and what you're setting your heart towards. So I think that's, you know, the best kind of advice in terms of money is actually to recommend that you kind of guard yourself and plan slightly secretively, which is not a problem for you. Also, Taurus has just moved into your 7th house, which is really showing that once you've got a feel for your natural ability to attract money, like Pluto, the ruler or one of the rulers of Scorpio, is the god of wealth and destruction. So it's like there's a lot of big themes going on. But Jupiter should absolutely activate your relationships. And Jupiter's the ruler of your money. So it's like money and relationships are going to start smoothing out. That's the most important takeaway of this short reading. Now, as you're working towards the new moon on the 18th, it's really bringing in this idea of shared wealth and shared values. Now, it's not just shared wealth and shared values. It's about getting more open, getting more transparent, digging into the secrets, digging into the myths that you've got between you and your partners or you and your business partners. So if you get this feeling that you're being guilted or shamed or embarrassed or anything like that, now, especially after this last month and what you've learned in the last month, now is the time to dig deep and say, okay, so let me just check this assumption that I've got. Because as you're clearing that, you're actually clearing more of a space for more partner money and partner opportunities to come in. The 8th house is magnificent in bringing up extra money that you don't have to manifest directly yourself. So that's great. Last of all, then, in terms of health and love, there's also a 10th house energy going on, which is very warm, very spicy. It's really encouraging you to take control of how you're seen, what your reputation is, where your business is going, how you can be more sovereign and feel more in control of your life. And as you do that, things will just kind of, doors will magically open for you. So there you go, Scorpio. I hope that's helpful.
All right, Scorpio. So your affirmation is, I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of clearing there. And it's interesting that you've got the symbol of an owl, because
Yes.
actually I think an owl, obviously Scorpio is often thought of in terms of the scorpion. But, you know, when we look at the deeper aspects of things and the secrets, owls are usually right up there. Like Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, is about the underworld. And so, you know, the owl is kind of important there as a symbol.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So we've got
Absolutely fascinating.
4 more to go. So on to my sign now, Sagittarius.
Yay.
So let's give this a go. Sagittarius then. This is absolutely bringing up a clearing in terms of where you're going and who you're going to be doing that with, which is kind of fun. So what's going on with the full moon is activating your first house. So there's a lot going on with your body. Look at inflammation, look at what themes are coming up, and also about your identity, like how you're seen, how do you look, are you happy with it? If you're not, then it's time to do something about it, because it's likely to blow up around the 4th of June. So it's almost like you're doing a bit of rebranding on yourself, you know, and it's cool to do that, right? So that's definitely got your attention as you're moving from the 4th of June towards the 18th of June, where you've got the new moon. Then you're thinking in terms of the impact you're having on other people. So, you know, how does my new image, how does my new way of being, how do I think about myself, and how does that bring in the right kind of relationships? So there's a lot going on between me versus everyone else. You might also want to consider the projections that you've got on everyone else and recognize that's what you are seemingly lacking in your own self-image. So there's a lot to do with images. Now, from the 21st, when we've got the solstice moving into the sun moving into the sign of Cancer, it's bringing up issues to do with your joint assets and all those things I was talking about, funnily enough, in the Scorpio bit, where I was talking about the secrets, about blame, shames, guilt and angers, and all the old ideas of expectations that people have on you. So again, this really feeds into your identity, because if your identity has been based traditionally on what you think everyone is expecting of you, and then you find out it's not, you've been holding a false image, you've been holding and creating a false avatar for yourself. So it's really about getting real and diving into what is unknown about yourself that other people know, and kind of getting some balance there. Now, in terms of money, I really see you working from home. I really see you doing more and thinking more and coming up with great ideas when you're grounded. So the more grounded you are, the more settled you are, it's like the more you're bringing in for yourself and your family. So that feels really quite beneficial. I would also say that changes going on between the 11th and 27th is increasing intimacy in terms of your partners. So you might, like at the start, it almost feels like for the first week that things are a little bit friendly. And then between the 11th and 27th, things get deeper. And then from the 27th, it feels like you want to play, you know. So again, it's this stretching into intimacy. Last of all, health. Oh my goodness, I didn't get there. Let me just do health quickly. Again, it's all linked into blame, shame, guilt, and anger. It's the psychological aspects that you need to work on. And as you work through those, your health should improve quite rapidly.
Awesome. And that was Sagittarius, right?
Yeah.
So, Sagittarius, this is your affirmation. The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work.
Mm. Mm. I love that. That's spot on, isn't it?
Totally.
Okay. So we've got 3 more. We've got Capricorn, Aquarius, and then Pisces. So, boy.
Capricorn,
Whew.
right?
Right. Okay. So Capricorn, yeah, your ruling planet went retrograde recently, and then Pluto last month went retrograde back into the sign of Capricorn. So it does feel like your flow forwards is a little bit stilted. Feels like, oh gosh, I had my plan. I was going to ascend. I was going to become master of my own universe, and all of a sudden it feels like there's a little bit kind of holding you back. But don't freak out. It feels like you're in almost like you are doing a last sweep. You know, like when you move house and just as you leave, you think, oh, or you go on holiday and you leave your place of holiday and you're all packed, you get in a cab and you think, oh, I must just check in the drawers and make sure everything's okay. So it's like you're going back over where you've already left just to see that everything is pristine, everything is as you were expecting. And you've been clearing out a lot. And so you're literally getting ready to move forwards again. So this is all good, even if it feels like things are slowing down. Just have some patience. I know you've got a lot of patience, so you'll be fine. Now, there's definitely a 6th and 12th house feel to this month ahead. So the your imagination, your intensity, your privacy, your need to kind of indulge in depressive thoughts and things like that in the privacy of your own home, that's really activated around the time of the full moon. For most people, I would say run and hide and kind of just not be too intense around people. But actually for you, I would recommend around the 4th of June that you actually have some company. It's really important that you pull yourself out of your blind spots, because I think really around the full moon you could really indulge in your blind spots and really kind of go to town on depression. So you want to kind of avoid that. Be as lighthearted and as outward facing as you can be. Set yourself a challenge or something. Now, as you're coming up to the new moon on the 18th, it's really, I see from the 4th to the 18th, that you're really working on growing this sense of, even though it's a waning moon phase, but you're growing a new sense of stability in your health, in your core health, and looking at the structure of it and what you need to do. So I think that's good. And in doing so, you're also bringing up a sense of organization, and you're seeing your opportunities to streamline things. That's all good. Now, in terms of your money in this month ahead, it's interesting because it's really highlighted by the creative process. It's important that you play a lot more. Now, this is actually true for, you're actually going through a very sort of creative and playful phase. Now, I would also say that your ideas that are coming up right now, oh my goodness, I'm running out of time. You're coming into a really good time for April of next year. So what you're working on right now is going to really lead into April. So if you've got these big plans, stick to them. Finally, because I've already mentioned health, let's look at love quickly. In terms of love, I really see that the 21st, which is the solstice, is opening up a new doorway for you in terms of intimacy. So don't be afraid to walk through that.
Okay, so what sign was that? Sorry again. Capricorn. So Capricorn, your affirmation is, when I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I really feel that. So yeah, when I was talking about the 12th house, like get out of your 12th house, get out of your blind spot. It is about finding peace. You're right, Helen. That's perfect. So Aquarius then.
Aquarius.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Aquarius. So again, there's more talk of creativity. Around the 4th of June, feels like there's too much going on with friendships, networks, social media, too many invitations, too much this, that, and the other. If you are if you have in-laws or stepchildren or ex-stepchildren, anything to do with like extended family, they seem to have a lot more impact around the time of the full moon for you. So watch out for that, because tensions are going to be pretty high on the 4th of June for you. Now, as you are moving from the 4th of June to the 18th of June and beyond, what's really happening is you're coming away from the social aspect a little bit. You're a little bit partied out. You're a little bit worn out by everyone's expectations, everyone's needs, everyone's cross communications, trying to coordinate it all. It's exhausting. So kind of quit that right now. You know, it's time to just let that go. It's really not important for you, because where you're allowing other people to sway you, it's pulling you off that feeling of peace at home. In fact, what's happening is it almost feels like you're living about 2 or 3 different lives at home, like you're being pulled in different directions. So absolutely, I see you coming out of the social and kind of coming into a place of privacy. And then very much from the 18th, it's time to indulge in your own creativity and your own passions, your own birthing. And it could be that, you know, your sensuality is coming on from the, you know, the time of the new moon, and that there's this feeling that you can indulge in your own pleasures. So I see this as all being quite beneficial. It's kind of saying take some time for yourself. Now, in terms of money, you have been a little bit serious about getting it right, and I do see that carrying on for a good couple of years. In fact, what's going on right now, even if it feels a bit tighter right now and as if there's not as much for you, what's actually happening is you're developing some good habits in terms of money, and you can't lose anything if you're not rolling in it, you know. So it feels more like as you're tightening up and taking out some of the flow of income, you're actually putting yourself in a much safer position that you'll be able to springboard something from. I have no doubts that you're going to be able to do that. Now, in terms of love, I've mentioned there's a sensuality coming up from the 18th, but I also say there's a heatedness, there's a relatedness, there's a sharing. You've got Venus coming into the sign of Leo, which is your relationship area. You've also got Mars there as well. So that is really making you quite sizzly. So again, it's another reason to come out of your friendships and kind of indulge in what's going on in matters of the heart. Finally, at the time of the solstice, there is a health reset. It's time for you to get really real about feeling healthy, feeling organized, and feeling calm. And that's how you're setting off on your new season ahead. So that's Aquarius.
Okay, Aquarius. So your affirmation is, in every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that.
Yay!
So that was all about love, wasn't it? It was about intimacy and sensuality and getting it on. Yeah, perfect. Well,
Yeah.
we're on to the last one now, Helen.
Yay! Well
Yeah.
done.
Phew. Okay, so Pisces then. Okay, Pisces. So the energies in this month ahead, in particular, the full moon on the 4th is really really feeling a little bit tense in terms of your career and what's going on and how you handle it. So I do really feel like it's time right now, because this is live on the 27th. It's giving you a good week to sort this out, is work on those tensions in terms of your career. Like, are you disagreeing with anyone? Is authority coming down on you? Whatever's going on, it's worth actually investing a bit of time in before the event on the 4th. It could be a time when you actually really do something quite amazing in work or leap forwards, but it's really important that you're doing it not from a place of sudden activation. Much better if you can plan it a little bit. Now, from the 4th, it feels like the energy is bringing you back towards the home. So it feels like at the beginning of the month, you're a lot more in your career. And then as you're coming up to the new moon, actually, it feels more like it's more important to embrace the home, embrace the family, embrace the feeling of connection, embrace the feeling of peace and quiet, you know? So I love that. And then from the solstice on the 21st, the biggest energy coming up is that birthing. So actually, as I see it, I feel like you've been really hard at it in terms of work. And now you're thinking, what the hell am I doing all this for? Actually, all I want to do is sit at home and enjoy having time with my kids or my pets or my projects. So it feels like you're really wanting to be very much back into the home. And how can you get there the quickest is the best question you could probably ask yourself right now. Like, how could I thrive whilst not putting as much energy into my career? How could I bring my career into my home? How can I have my own little business or something like that? So it really feels like the energy is sucking back in. And in terms of the next season ahead, it's like, how can my creativity come from my love of being grounded and in my home space? Okay. Anyway, in terms of money, there's I really think as you get more organized and put a lot of effort into, like hard effort into getting things organized, dotting I's and crossing T's, things will get better. And also from the 5th, when Venus goes into sign of Leo, that will also improve your health and your feeling of vitality, and also will have a knock-on effect in terms of your ability to get organized and earn more money. In terms of relationships, it feels like there's a bit of a shift, that you're moving from a place of friendliness, you're going into a place of relatedness around the time of the 11th. And then finally, towards the end of the month, from the 27th, it feels like you're wanting to bring this person home. So I just feel like as this month progresses, you're coming more and more back into a place of intimacy. And so that's where I would hold that space for you. So I hope that was helpful, Pisces.
Okay, Pisces. So your affirmation is, my energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I manifest.
Oh, that's perfect.
And that was
That's
all
really,
about manifestation, wasn't it, really?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, like really hearing what you're saying internally and
Mm,
really feeling it and coming out of the busyness and pulling back in. I love that.
mm.
Wow. So there you go. That's all the 12 signs.
I saw the 12
Have
signs.
you got any questions at all?
I hope our audience really has enjoyed that. We won't have time for questions, but I'm sure that you will have more value from, Louisa's input in terms of the focusing on the 12 zodiac signs. So we really do hope that you have enjoyed the live stream and the replay later on. And I know it's, for some people, this is quite early on a Saturday because some of you have, gone out partying and you're probably still snoring by now. So, that's okay. That's good. You can always catch up on the replay. Louisa, I want to thank you so much for actually being here, showing up once again and, doing this live stream with us. And I know that you've had to kind of power through it because of the
I am
time.
quite exhausted now.
And I really appreciate that. You really do deserve a break.
Yeah, I feel like having a coffee with my husband in the sunshine and enjoying a bit of the Portuguese nature.
Before we let you go and enjoy the coffee with your husband in the Portuguese sunshine, do you actually have any final words for our audience? Is there anything that you would like to close out with? Anything you're promoting right now?
Okay. First of all, I'm going to be releasing a load more material. So I'm going to be doing the 5-minute forecast, although probably don't need to do those now because we could use these. I'm going to be doing a big update about like transitioning from Gemini to Cancer. And I really see that it's going to impact mums in particular. I think we're coming out of the rational mums and maybe rational feminism. And I think there's a new sweeping kind of gentle, mumsy kind of flowing skirt kind of thing going on. So I want to talk about that as well. I'm releasing some stuff about Pluto going through the houses. So if you know your birth chart and you're interested, check those out. They're coming this week. If you want a reading, if you think it'd be useful, then go to feelgoodastrology.com. I do a pop-up astrology show on Sunday evenings at 6 p.m. That's UK time. And in that, I will look at people's charts and answer questions. So if that's of any interest, go to, if you haven't already, please do go and like or subscribe to my channel, which is Feel Good Astrology. Yeah, and if I can be of any help, it's Louisa Tanner Munson at gmail.com.
Yay. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Also, just before we close out the show, I just wanted to let you know that if you guys are interested in the tarot that I do, I actually do daily readings. So fire signs, earth signs, air signs, water signs, I do your readings daily over on my TikTok channel, Empress Oracle 11, and it's Empress Oracle Tarot on YouTube, and it's also Empress Oracle Tarot on Facebook as well. So there you go.
Perfect.
Right, guys. Thank you so much for those of you that have joined us today, and those of you that are watching later on the replay. We are going to be doing another astrology update later on this month for the month of July.
Yeah.
And please do join us for that. Also, if you like the format that we have gone with for this live stream, then please do let us know. Give us some feedback if this works for you. If you have any suggestions of anything that you think could work better, or you would like to see, then also do give us that feedback and let us know.
Absolutely. That's perfect. Oh,
yeah. All right.
It's been nice being back on your channel again, Helen. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been really lovely having you over again. I always look forward to our interaction on the astrology updates. Your energy is just amazing to have around. So I really appreciate you. Bye, everyone. And we will see you in the next astrology updates. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Bye.